It's very difficult for women who have been isolated and controlled, who haven't been allowed to do things like jobs and education, to go back to those things, because family court takes up a tremendous amount of time. And being at the family court itself is such a stressful thing. And you know, the thing about intimate partner abuse is that you don't have to go running around the courtroom saying, I'm gonna fucking kill you, you goddamn bitch. Right? It doesn't have to be that way. It's about the way that he's holding himself when he's standing. It's the way that he's pacing. It's the way that he can't sit still for more than 5 minutes that sends her a very clear message about how he's feeling and how angry he is. It's not something that other people are going to notice. It's not something that other people are going to respond to unless she asks for help. And most women are so terrified that they sit in the exact same position for 8 hours waiting for family court to come and go. And this tension builds and the tension builds, and much like the cycle of abuse itself, except that at the end of the day, there hasn't been an explosive event to signal that the tension is gone. So she carries that tension with her out of the building. And for many women, the only time her abuser really has access to her is during family court. And like I said, you know, were it that every abuser behaves like an ass at family court, it would make my job a lot easier, because that's something that the police could respond to, that the court clerks could respond to, but that's not what they do. Intimate partner abuse is extremely intimate, and it's kind of like an inside joke with your friends where, you know, one person says a single word and everybody bursts out laughing. The same is true with abuse. And money is also a huge barrier. So many of my clients who do qualify for legal aid can't find a lawyer who's accepting legal aid. Or another problem with that is my clients tend to information graze. So they'll ask one question at a time and they have to hear the answer several times. So they'll keep going back and forth to the Family Law Information Center, and they have really strict policies about solicitation there, which means that if you see a lawyer at family court for advice counsel, you can't ever retain that lawyer. So a very small pool has just gotten smaller. Or your legal aid runs out. Most of these cases are very complicated. The issues are not complicated. It's that the other party is very, very complicated. If you have someone who's not invested or interested in ending this process and coming to a resolution, then it's just not going to happen. So I definitely think that the number one barrier, this long answer to a short question, the number one barrier for abused women is the system itself. It is both a victim and an accomplice in legal abuse.
Thank you. Okay, the next question is directed to Dr. Grant, but if any of you have any information about it, feel free to pitch in. Basically, in your experience, Dr. Grant, have you found that there are any biological underpinnings of violence towards women?
You mean with men?
Yeah, like does biology influence it at all?
Oh God, I'm sorry. Nothing against you, but I hate that question. Well, if that's the case, I guess all men would be abusive, right? We have the tendency to be, unless you want to count testosterone, and I don't believe it. But I will say, being trained as a sociologist and a criminologist in women's studies, and being out in the community for years and years and years, the social environment has a lot to do with it. And at the top of that is our patriarchal system, and I get so tired of the fact of trying to get men involved in this issue. And I'm so glad to see so many young men here today. In fact, I should have made all my male students come, shouldn't I, Barney? If I had thought of it, yeah? I'll give them all shit in class today. I just get so tired of trying to tell men this is your problem as well as ours. I love the three women to my left, and I love Allison's work, and I love my work, because I feel that the women I work with are my heroes. And I see you three as my heroes as well. Because women who have survived, whether it's addiction, whether it's abuse along with addiction, I often think there, but for the grace of God go I.